Geobyte.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the GeoByte. In this video, let us discuss the solutions for the problems in thermodynamics which were already given in previous examinations, previous ESET examinations. Since the each and every problem is equal important, my request is you please go through all the problems. After listening all these problems, nearly 20 problems, you practice with pen and paper. Pen and paper work is very important to get success in the competitive exams. While you are practicing with pen and paper, dear friends, if you find any difficulty, you please send all your doubts to the GeoByte. Definitely I will answer all the questions whatever you are sending within 24 hours. You can also ask the questions from strength of material, fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines, heat power engineering, refrigeration and air conditioning, in addition to the thermodynamics. Look at the very first problem. Erection cycle consists of, dear friends, we have different thermodynamic cycles. Look at the different thermodynamic cycles. I have listed already for saving the time. First one Carnot cycle, second one Otto cycle, diesel cycle, Stirling cycle, erection cycle, Brayton cycle, and Atkinson cycle. These are all the different thermodynamic cycles. Now let me explain the process connected to all these cycles, each and every cycle. Look at the Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle consists of two isothermal process, two isothermal process and two adiabatic process, two adiabatic process. Adiabatic means reversible adiabatic process, whereas the Otto cycle consists of two constant volume process, two constant volume process and two adiabatic process, two adiabatic process. Come to the diesel cycle. Diesel cycle consists of two adiabatic process, two adiabatic process. Here adiabatic process means reversible adiabatic. One constant pressure process and one constant volume process. One constant volume process. Remember, for diesel cycle, my dear friends, the heat supplied is at constant pressure and the heat rejection at constant volume. Heat rejection at constant volume. Come to the Stirling cycle. Come to the Stirling cycle. Stirling cycle consists of two isothermal process, two isothermal process and two constant volume process, two constant volume process. Look at the erection cycle, that is our problem. Erection cycle also consists of two isothermal process, two isothermal process and two constant pressure process, constant pressure process. Now come to the Brayton cycle. Brayton cycle consists of two adiabatic process, two adiabatic process and 2 constant pressure process. 2 constant pressure process. Constant pressure process. Atkinson cycle consists of 2 adiabatic process. 2 adiabatic process. One constant volume. One constant volume process and one constant pressure process. So these are all the process connected to different thermodynamic cycles. So our problem is connected to erection cycle. Look at the process for the erection cycle. Erection cycle consists of 2 isothermal process and 2 constant pressure process. Look at the options. Erection cycle consists of 2 isothermal and 2 constant pressure process. Look at the option C. 2 isothermal and 2 constant pressure process. Therefore option C is absolutely correct. I hope you got my point. Dear friends, though it takes some time, since I have explained all the cycles, therefore this information is very useful for selecting the number of process for different thermodynamic cycles. Let us go for the second problem. Look at the second problem. Work done is 0 for the following process. Constant volume process, yes, work done is 0. Option B, throttling process, yes, for throttling process also work done is 0. Free expansion process, yes, work done equal to 0. All of the above is absolutely correct. For the throttling process, constant volume process, free expansion process, work done is 0. All of the above is absolutely correct. Easy problem but important problem. I can mark this is the 5-star problem. 5-star problem means most expected problem. Let us take the another problem. Look at the third problem. Carnot cycle efficiency is maximum. Look at the options. Initial temperature is 0 Kelvin. Final temperature T2 is 0 Kelvin. Final temperature is 0 degree centigrade. Here T1 minus T2 is 0 degree centigrade. Here the final temperature, his meaning may be sink temperature, because the Carnot cycle efficiency equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Here T1 is the source temperature. Remember, it must be in Kelvin, and T2 equal to sink temperature. It is also in Kelvin. Here initial temperature, his meaning might be source temperature. Final temperature is sink temperature. So from this formula I can say that if the T2 equal to 0 Kelvin, then what is the Carnot cycle efficiency? Carnot cycle efficiency equal to 1 minus 0 by T1. 0 by T1 is 0 only. 1 minus 0 into 100 is equal to 100%. So that is the maximum expected efficiency from the Carnot cycle when the sink temperature is 0 Kelvin, not 0 degree centigrade. Therefore option B is absolutely correct. I hope you got my point. Let us take the another problem. Look at the fourth problem. Which one of the following thermodynamic process approximately the steaming of food in a pressure cooker? Steaming of the food means boiling of the food in the pressure cooker is generally happening at constant volume. The constant volume process can also be called as isochoric process or isometric process. So the boiling of food, boiling of food in pressure cooker, pressure cooker happening at constant volume. The constant volume process, the constant volume process can also be called as isochoric or isometric process. So now let's select the option. Isenthalpic, no. Isobaric, no. Isobaric means constant pressure. Isochoric, absolutely correct. The food is boiled in the pressure cooker at constant volume process. The constant volume process can also be called as isochoric process. Let us take the another problem. Look at the fifth problem. First law of thermodynamics is nothing but a statement of, dear friends, there are mainly two laws. First one is first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics is talking about the energy. The second one, second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics is talking about the quality of energy. Since the first law is talking about energy, the first law of thermodynamics is also giving the statement of law of conservation of energy or law of energy. So look at the very first option. Itself is absolutely correct. So first law is always talking about the law of conservation of energy. Second law of thermodynamics is talking about the quality of the energy. The second law of thermodynamics is also called law of degradation of energy. Of course, one more law is there, that is zeroth law of thermodynamics. It gives the concept of temperature. Or thermally equilibrium conditions of the bodies. So first law is talking about the energy or law of conservation of energy. Second law is talking about the quality of the energy or entropy. Zeroth law of thermodynamics is talking about the temperature or thermally equilibrium conditions of the bodies. I hope you got my point. Let us take another problem. Look at the sixth problem. In Carnot cycle, heat is added and rejected. Remember, in Carnot cycle, the heat supplied and heat rejection both are at constant temperature. Whereas in Otto cycle, the heat supplied and heat rejection at constant volume. In the diesel cycle, the heat supplied at constant pressure and heat rejection at constant volume. In Stirling cycle, heat supplied, heat rejection both are at constant volume. In the erection cycle, the heat supplied, heat rejection both are at constant pressure. Whereas in Brayton cycle, whereas in Brayton cycle, the heat supplied and heat rejection both are happening at constant pressure. In Atkinson cycle, remember the heat supplied at constant volume and the heat rejection at constant pressure. So I have written where the heat is supplied and rejected for different thermodynamic cycles. Our problem is connected to purely Carnot cycle. For Carnot cycle, heat supplied and rejection at constant temperature. Constant temperature process can also be called as isothermal process. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Shall we take another problem? Yes. Look at the seventh problem. Bomb calorimeter is used to measure the calorific value of solid fuels, correct, liquid fuels, correct, gaseous fuels is not correct. Look at the option D, solid and liquid fuels, or solid or liquid fuels. Option D is absolutely correct. Remember, bomb calorimeter is used for finding the calorific value of both solid and liquid fuels, whereas Jenker's gas calorimeter is used for measuring the calorific value of gaseous fuels only. I hope you got my point. Shall we take another problem? Yes. Look at the eighth problem. Area under TS curve represents the, dear friends, as you know, work done equal to PdV. Change in entropy ds equal to what? Del Q by T. From this, the heat transfer equal to TdS. Since the heat transfer equal to TdS, if I plot the temperature versus entropy diagram, let us take a process like this. This is the process, or this is the curve 1 to 2. Since the heat transfer equal to TdS, area below that curve in the TS coordinate system is equal to heat transfer. This is the heat transfer. That means area 1 to KL. So del Q equal to TdS equal to area below 1 to 2. But if you take the work done formula, work done equal to PdV. Since work done equal to PdV, let us take the pressure versus volume coordinate system. If I project a curve like this, 1 to 2 curve like this, 1 to 2. Since work done equal to PdV, area below that curve is equal to work done. That means area below the curve in the PV diagram is equal to work done. Therefore, work done equal to PdV. That PdV equal to area below 1 to. Area below 1 to. Area below 1 to in what diagram? In PV diagram. Whereas heat transfer, area below 1 to in TS diagram. So from this, the conclusion is area below the PV diagram for a curve equal to work done. Area below the curve 1 to in TS diagram equal to heat transfer. Now look at the problem. The area under TS curve represents the heat transfer or heat energy. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Let us take another problem. Look at the ninth problem. A heat pump extracts 200 kilowatts of heat from the cold storage and supplies heat energy to the building at the rate of 600 kilowatts. The input power to the pump is, it is like this. the problem connected to heat pump. Let this is our heat pump. For this heat pump, we are supplying the work input. It is taking the heat from one body. It is extracting the heat. The amount of heat absorption according to given data is 200 kilowatts. This I can say cold source, and it is dumping it to the hot source. How much amount of heat energy is dumped to the hot source and supplies heat energy to the building at the rate of, here hot source I can make as building. I can treat as building. The amount of heat rejected to building is how much? 600 kilowatts. Now let us connect the energy balance equation. Here energy balance equation is sum of the energies entering to the heat pump must be equal to sum of the energies leaving from the heat pump. What are the energies entering to heat pump? QA and W in. QA plus W in, these two are the energies entering to heat pump. It must be equal to energies leaving from the heat pump. Only one energy which is leaving from the heat pump, that is QR. Therefore, work input to the heat pump equal to heat rejection to the building minus heat extracted. Heat rejected to the building how much? 600 minus 200. It is equal to 400 kilowatts. That much amount of work energy is required for the heat pump to heat the building with a heat of 600 kilowatts. So let us take the options. Option C, absolutely correct. 400 kilowatts of power is required for the heat pump. I hope you got my point. Let us take another problem. Look at the 10th problem. The calorific value of gaseous fuels is expressed. Gaseous fuels is measured in terms of meter cube. Therefore, the energy which is released by meter cube of gas is the calorific value. The energy released may be kilojoules. Meter cube is the unit of volume. Therefore, kilojoules per meter cube at STP is the calorific value of gaseous fuels. Therefore, option C is absolutely correct. Let us take another problem. Look at the 11th problem. Propane and butane are the principal constituents of LPG, low pressure gas. The propane and butane are the principal elements of the LPG or constituents of the LPG. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Let us take another problem. Let us take the 12th problem. Gas constant of an ideal gas is not equal to, dear friends, the first one, look at the first one, universal gas constant divided by molecular weight. It is like this. According to Avogadro's law, product of molecular weight and gas constant is equal to universal gas constant. Here M equal to molecular weight. R equal to gas constant or characteristic gas constant. Ru equal to universal gas constant. Its standard value is 8.314 kilojoules per kg mole Kelvin or kilomole Kelvin. So from this gas constant R equal to Ru by M. Therefore, the ratio between the universal gas constant and molecular weight is equal to gas constant. So look at the first option, universal gas constant divided by molecular weight is the R only. First statement is absolutely correct. It means it is asking, right, the gas constant for ideal gas is not equal to. Incorrect statement, you need to decide. That means though the first statement is correct, that is not our option. Now come to the third option. Right, third option is Cp minus Cv. Cp minus Cv equal to R only. That everyone knows it. So that is also correct. Pv equal to RT be the ideal gas equation. From this I can say that Pv by T equal to R. Pv by T equal to R is also correct. This is also correct. Then what is the Cp by Cv? Cp by Cv equal to gamma, not R. Since you are asked to decide the incorrect statement, therefore option B is absolutely correct. Universal gas constant by molecular weight is R. Cp minus Cv equal to R. Pv by T also equal to R. But what is not equal to R? Cp by Cv is not equal to R. Cp by Cv equal to gamma. Gamma is called adiabatic index. Anyhow, option B is the required answer or correct answer because you are asked to decide the incorrect statement. I hope you got my point. Let us take one more problem. Look at the next problem. Real gas behavior comes closer to ideal gas concept. Dear friends, comparatively at very low pressure and high temperature, the real gas behavior is very similar to ideal gas behavior. Let me write that point. At very low pressure, at very low pressure and at very high temperature, the real gas behavior is very close to ideal gas behavior. Comparatively, at very low pressure and at very high temperature, real gas behavior is very similar to ideal gas behavior. Look at the option D, very low pressure and high temperature. So therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Remember, my dear friends, the ideal gas definition is like this. The gas which obeys the gas which obeys एक minute, the gas which obeys all gas law principles at all ranges of temperatures and pressures is called ideal gas, is also called perfect gas. Ideal gas or perfect gas. Example for ideal gas or perfect gas. Examples: air, hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, oxygen and argon. But strictly speaking, at their availability condition, available pressure and temperature, all these gases are also coming under real gases. These 6 gases just like act as an ideal gas comparatively comparatively at very low pressure, very low pressure and very high temperature, and very high temperature, very high temperature. So anyhow, the real gas behavior is very similar to ideal gas behavior at very low pressure and high temperature. I hope you got my point. Let us take another problem. Look at the problem. The area under temperature entropy diagram represents the heat transfer. Option A for all process, B only for reversible vapor process, option C for all reversible process, option D for any isothermal process. Dear friends, the 1 minute. The ds equal to change in entropy ds equal to del q by T. It is for only reversible process. For only reversible process. Reversible process. Since it is only for reversible process, I can say del q equal to TdS only for reversible process. For only reversible process. Reversible process. Therefore, if I project the TS diagram, temperature versus entropy diagram, let this is a process. Process curve 1 to 2. The area below the curve 1 to 2 equal to heat transfer. So this area represents area is for heat transfer. Area is for heat transfer only, very important, only for reversible process, because del q equal to TdS. Since the del q equal to TdS only for reversible process, therefore area below the curve 1 to 2 in the TS diagram is equal to heat transfer, but only reversible process, only for reversible process. I hope you got my point. This problem is very important problem. Look at the options. Once again, let me read the problem. The area under temperature entropy diagram represents the heat transfer for all reversible process. Option C is absolutely correct. Shall we take another problem? Yes. Look at the next problem. A steam power plant works between temperatures of 527 degrees centigrade and 27 degrees centigrade. The ideal efficiency of the plant would be, here the maximum temperature T max equal to, let it be T1 equal to 527 plus 273. Let it be in Kelvin. It is equal to 800 Kelvin. Similarly, the minimum temperature equal to, let it be T2 equal to 27 plus 273. It is equal to 300 Kelvin. You are asked to find the ideal efficiency of the plant. Ideal efficiency of the plant is nothing but the Carnot cycle efficiency. The Carnot cycle efficiency equal to 1 minus minimum temperature by maximum temperature. So 1 minus minimum temperature is 300 divided by 800. Multiply with 100 to get in percentage. It is approximately 62.5 percentage. That is the ideal cycle efficiency of the steam power plant for the given data. Anyhow, option A is absolutely correct. Let us take another problem. Look at the 16th problem. In throttling process. Remember, in the throttling process, enthalpy remains constant Therefore, throttling process can also be called as isenthalpic process. Throttling process can also be called as isenthalpic process. Isenthalpic process. That means enthalpy remains constant. So in the throttling process, enthalpy remains constant. It means H1 equal to H2. Enthalpy before throttling equal to enthalpy after throttling process. So option D, look at the option D. Option D is absolutely correct. Dear friends, remember throttling process is, listen carefully, throttling process is irreversible adiabatic process. In this irreversible adiabatic process, enthalpy remains constant, whereas the reversible adiabatic process, or I can say isentropic process, reversible adiabatic process is maintaining constant entropy. Therefore, it is also called isentropic process. That means adiabatic processes are two types: reversible adiabatic, irreversible adiabatic. In the irreversible adiabatic process, enthalpy remains constant. Therefore, irreversible adiabatic process can also be called as isenthalpic process. Whereas in the reversible adiabatic process, since entropy remains constant, the reversible adiabatic process can also be called as isentropic process. I hope you got my point. Once again, there are two adiabatic processes. One is reversible adiabatic process and other one is irreversible adiabatic process. In the reversible adiabatic process, entropy remains constant. Therefore, reversible adiabatic process can also be called as isentropic process. Whereas in the irreversible adiabatic process, enthalpy remains constant. Therefore, the irreversible adiabatic process is also called isenthalpic process. I hope you got my point. Let us take another problem. Look at the 17th problem. A cylinder consists compressed air which has internal energy 500 kilojoules, means initial internal energy U1 equal to 500 kilojoules. Okay, at the beginning of expansion, an internal energy of 250 kilojoules after expansion. This is the internal energy at the beginning. Internal energy after expansion, U2 equal to 250 kilojoules. That I can take as the internal energy at state 2. Okay, if the work done by the air, look at the point, work done by the air during the expansion. Work done by the air during the expansion is taken as positive. So the work interaction is given 150 kilojoules. This is positive because it is given clearly work done by the air. Work done by the air is taken as positive. Work done on the air is taken as negative. Then heat rejected by the air during the process. So the process is occurring in the closed system. Closed system energy balance equation is Q equal to work done plus change in internal energy du. Q equal to work done plus U2 minus U1. Here change in internal energy is U2 minus U1. Q equal to, what is the work interaction? Work interaction is 150. 150 plus U2 250 minus 500. It is 400 minus 500 is equal to minus 100 kilojoules. Negative sign indicates the heat is rejecting from the system. The negative sign indicates the heat is rejecting from the system. The heat is rejecting from the system. Heat is rejecting from the system. Rejecting from the system. Therefore, the answer is, therefore heat rejection itself equal to, the heat rejection itself is maintaining negative symbol, equal to 100 kilojoules. I hope you got my solution. Look at the option A. Option A itself is absolutely correct. So 100 kilojoules is the amount of heat rejected from the compressor. I hope you got my point. Let us take the last problem. Look at the last problem. This problem also very important problem. I can mark it as 5-star problem. 5-star problem means most expected problem. In general, the problems are repeating in the ECET examination. This kind of problem may be repeating in multiple times. Look at the problem. An engine working on Carnot cycle between the temperature limits. Okay. Here maximum temperature T max I can mark as T1 equal to 527 degrees centigrade, equal to 527 plus 273. I am getting in Kelvin, equal to 800 Kelvin. That is the maximum temperature. The minimum temperature given, the minimum temperature equal to T2 is given 127 degrees Celsius. 127 plus 273 is equal to 400 Kelvin. Okay. Produces 130 kilojoules of work. Work produced by the engine, the work done equal to how much? 130 kilojoules. Okay. The heat added during the cycle. You are asked to find the heat supplied. Heat supplied QS is how much? Very easy problem. Dear friends, the Carnot cycle efficiency equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. It must be equal to work done by the heat supplied. Here 1 minus T2. T2 how much? 400 divided by 800. It must be equal to work done by heat supplied. Of course, in the place of work done, I can write the value 130 divided by heat supplied. You simplify the left side value, 1 minus 400 by 800. 400 by 800 equal to 0.5. Let me write one more step. 1 minus 0.5 equal to 130 divided by heat supplied. What is the 1 minus 0.5? Equal to 0.5. Equal to 130 divided by heat supplied. From this I can say that the heat supplied QS equal to 130 divided by 0.5. It is 2 times the 130, equal to 260 kilojoules. Therefore the heat supplied equal to 260 kilojoules. Look at the options. Option B is absolutely correct. 260 kilojoules is absolutely correct answer. Option B is correct. Dear friends, all of you have understood all these problems very clearly. My request is, you please practice all these problems once again. While you are practicing the problems, If you find any difficulty, you please send your doubt to the GeoByte. Definitely, I will answer all your questions within 24 hours. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please subscribe our channel called GeoByte. Have a great day. Once again, thank you very much for watching all these problems. God bless you.
GeoByte.